What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, I wanna talk on some comments that Kevin Garnett made about Anthony Edwards, right? And in a way, I felt like Kevin Garnett was kind of piling on, because Magic Johnson had said some things and some other NBA ball players have said some things about the comments that Anthony Edwards made as far as Michael Jordan being the only player in the league to have talent. But and so I kind of thought it was piling on, right? But Kevin Garnett said that he didn't think he don't think that this generation of ball players would be able to play or make it like in the 90s, and play in the 90s. And the reason why he said that is because number one, in the 90s, like it was definitely so much more physical than it is now. Um, you know, uh these kids today, he said they don't have a mid-range game. They couldn't handle like the hand checking and stuff that was allowed. Back then, you didn't have as much freedom of movement, is what Kevin Garnett said, and that's true. Like even Avery Johnson said the same thing. Like those players back in the day, you had to know how to play with somebody's forearm in your back or somebody hand checking you. You know, so you had to have a game. You had to be more than just have a high vertical leap or just be fast, because if you just brought to the table like what your physical ability was, then you wasn't going to stick around. And so Kevin Garnett basically just pointed that out. And you see a lot of that today from these NBA ball players. They don't have the knowledge of the game, right? They have the skills and the tools, but they don't have the knowledge as far as like understanding angles. And basically that's because like it's not required of them. The game is softer now, and so that wouldn't translate in Kevin Garnett's opinion, and I agree with him. Like that wouldn't translate into like the 90s. You wouldn't. These guys, I see a lot of guys too that are playing now that they wouldn't have been able to stick around in that day in back in the days, right? And so if all you bring to the table is your physical ability, then these guys don't know anything about like fighting through adversity, because you had to learn how to play back in those days, because the league was a lot more physical. The shots they take today, these shots they take today are a lot of the shots are bad shots. They shoot a lot of 3-pointers. They looking for the highlight dunk, and that's basically the game. Today's game, in my opinion, is boring compared to the game back in the 90s. It was a lot of nuance. You had dudes who could shoot the mid range, then you had dudes who could go all the way to the rim. And then like you had some dudes that could shoot the 3 too. So they could play at all three levels, but there's a game within the game. Far as like it was more of a chess match. You had to learn how to score, like I said, also while dealing with that restricted movement, and the guys playing you a lot more physical. So I'm hoping, with that being said, I'm hoping that Anthony Edwards, take heed to what Magic Johnson and Kevin Garnett says about today's basketball player. Kevin Garnett also said that Anthony Edwards, basically he likes to go left and then pull up, right? And so, if everybody know what your moves are, and you wouldn't have a lot of success in the league. Like people, if they know that you're going to go to your right, and go to your left and pull up, or when you go right, you go all the way to the rim. They're not, you're not going to have a lot of success doing that. People they're going to take that away from you and make you do something else. And that's when the game turns into a chess match. And with these guys, the challenge is not there because the league is so much softer now. You can get away with shooting all those threes and looking for the highlight dunk and stuff like that. That's why I said, like, today's game to me is boring. I like Anthony Edwards. I hope that he take heed to what Kevin Garnett said, because Kevin Garnett made a lot of good points. These guys, also he said that these guys do too much dribbling, which I agree with that too. 1 or 2 dribbles and get to your spot, and moving without the ball. But these guys do a lot of dribbling, and it's kind of boring to me. But that's my take on it. Let me know what you think. Be sure to leave a comment. And with that being said, I'll check you all out on the next video. Peace.